Hello guys, today we are going to look at the four conditionals plus the mixed conditionals. Okay, I'm gonna begin with the general overview and I will get more specific as the lesson continues. So in English, we have four conditionals: type 0, conditional 1, the second conditional, and the third conditional plus the mixed conditionals. Each one has an if clause, which means the condition, and the main clause, which means the result. Let's have a look. Okay, so here we have all the types. Type 0, here is the if clause. So the type 0, we have the if clause plus the present simple. We have the main clause. It's in the present simple also. We have in the if clause present simple and in the main clause present simple. The if clause means the condition, la condition, or main clause which means the result. دائما في المين clause كتكون result. So as we said, here we have if and the present simple, and in the main clause also we have the present simple. The first conditional, we have if plus the present simple, but in the main clause we have will plus the infinitive. Okay. The second conditional, we have if plus past participle, عندنا هنا would plus the infinitive. After الموضوع verbs سواء will سواء would infinitive. Okay. غير هنا في الفيرست عندنا will وفي السكند عندنا would. The third عندنا if plus the past perfect. هنا simple past but here the past perfect. هنايا في المين clause كيكون عندنا would have past participle. Okay. Would have past participle of the verb. هادشي اش كنقول لكم خصكم تكونوا حافظين ال past participle ديال irregular verbs. Okay. For example, eaten, we would have eaten, the past participle of the verb. Okay. Okay, and mixed conditionals, we had not, it's the combination of the second and the third conditional. Okay. So the combination of these two, this is the mixed conditional. So هذه هي لا فورم ديال الكونديشنالز كاملين. هنا pay attention, we have كاما here. إلا كان عندنا if clause حطيناه هو الأول كتكون عندنا الكاما. The same thing, كاما. Pay attention to it. كاما كاما. قبل ما الريزولتا يعني بدينا بالإف clause كنديرو كاما. ولكن إلى vice versa إلا بدينا بالmain clause ما كنديروش كاما. كندير present simple the sentence that we have in the present simple. If we continue ما كنديروش الكاما. Okay. Let's begin with the type 0 conditional. Here we have the conditional type 0. The use of this conditional, the situation is scientific and automatic. So la situation اللي عندنا في type 0 كتكون scientific قاعدة حقائق علمية ولا شي حاجة اللي كتوقع automatically. Okay. Let's have some examples. Here we have some examples. So here we have if clause. This is the if clause. If you heat water. So the verb in this clause is in the simple present. Heat, it's the simple present. Okay. Water. إلا غلينا الماء لا طيبنا الماء, it evaporates. Evaporates. This is the verb. And it's also in the simple present. It's in the simple present. الكاما. هنا إلا بغينا نحيدو الكاما شنو غنقولو؟ Water evaporates if you heat it. Okay? You pass the exam if you work hard. So here هنا بدينا this is the main clause. So let's write it here باش تقلونا. So هذا this is the main clause. And this one, this is the if clause. You pass the exam if you work hard. هنا ما عندناش الكاما الافعال هنا. علاش؟ حيت بدينا بالmain clause. You pass the exam. This is the main clause. This is the result. المين clause قلنا كتكون فيه الريزولتا. This is the main clause. This is the if clause if you work hard. Okay? Pass, it's the simple present. Work, also the simple present. Okay? It's not just the clause, the main clause. Unless you water plants, they die. Unless, here we have unless. Donc كنستعملو يا إما if ولا unless. You water plants, they die. Which means if you don't water the plants غادي يموتوا. إلا ما سقيتيهمش غيموتوا. Unless we use it with the negative verbs. It's a negative. Okay? Here we have it. So unless, if plus the negative verb. Unless, a negative verb. If you don't, for example, if you don't water plants, they will die. Or they die. If I don't go, unless I go. So if I don't go, which means unless I go. It's a negative. Okay, so let's move on to the second conditional, which is the first conditional. So type 1, conditional type 1. The use of this conditional, we use it in the situation is possible and probable. يعني ممكنة something that is possible to happen. شي حاجة اللي ممكن أنها توقع أو تحصل. Let's have a look on some examples. قلنا لا فورم ديال conditional type 1 كيكون عندنا في if clause present simple وكيكون عندنا في result or the main clause كيكون عندنا will plus the infinitive. Here is it. So هنا عندنا if clause عندنا have. This is the simple present. وهنايا will have. This is will plus the verb in the infinitive buy. Okay? If I have money, I will buy a new car. Here we have another example. I will meet you at the station. Regarde هنا عندنا الكاما. So حيت بدينا بالif clause. هنا ما بديناش بالif clause, بدينا بالmain clause اللي كتكون فيه result, كتكون فيه النتيجة. I will meet you at station if you call me earlier. غنتلاقى بك في ستاسيون إلى عيطتي لي قبل. Okay? If you call, so هنا I'll meet you. هنايا will meet, will plus the verb in the infinitive. Call, this is the present simple. Okay? I won't come to the party unless they send me an invitation. ما غنجيش الحفلة إلا ما صيفطوش ليا invitation. Okay? هنايا this is the main clause. Won't come, will not come. The negative form عندنا will or not come. يعني will plus the infinitive of the verb. Unless that we use here to express the if clause or the if clause. هنا عندنا unless because it's a negative. And send, this is the verb in the simple present. Okay? Present. Okay, remember that this type we use it when something or the situation is possible. La forme في ال if clause كيكون عندنا simple present وفي ال main clause كنديرو will plus the verb in the infinitive كتكون عندنا will و bien sûr le verbe اللي كيجي après un modal verb which is will or would etc كيكون في l'infinitive on le change pas. Bear this in mind. Let's move on to the conditional type 2. Here the use of this conditional and not the situation is unreal or imaginary. شي حاجة غير حقيقية وشي حاجة كي imaginaire. d'accord? خيالية. Let's see some examples. Okay, قلنا الفورم ديال هاد الكونديشنال كان عندنا simple past وفي if clause وكيكون عندنا would plus the infinitive of the verb. okay. so إلا كان عندنا simple past هنا في هاد if clause هنايا خصنا نديرو would plus the infinitive. so if I were a star I would live a comfortable life. so this is the simple past. هنايا عندنا would plus the infinitive. عندنا will في الباست ديالها would. okay the past of would. و bien sûr قلنا فاش كيجي عندنا الفيرب après le mot de verbs كيكون à l'infinitive. d'accord. I would go to Japan if I spoke Japanese. so هنايا عندنا would go spoke the simple past. هنا ما عندناش الفاصلة ما يدرينش الكاما. علاش؟ حيت بدينا بالمين كلوز. المين كلوز قلنا اللي كتكون فيها الريزولتا. الاف كلوز درناه هو الثاني. اذا اف جات الوسط ما كنديروش هنايا الكاما. داكوغ باش كنقلبوا ليهم بجوج صحاح ولكن فاش كنقلبوا هذا ما كنستعملوش غير الكاما ما كنزيدوهاش. We wouldn't go on a picnic if it weren't rainy. We would go on a picnic if it weren't rainy. So would, this is the main clause, would go. The if clause we have the simple past, the negative form. Okay. Okay, note that would may be substituted with might or could. Donc would ممكن نعوضها might ولا could. It depends on the sentence. Might this is the past and could also the past. فين ما كتكون عندنا would ممكن نعوضها might or could. Let's move on to the third type, the conditional type 3. We have the situation. We use it when we have the situation is impossible. فاش كتكون عندنا la situation c'est impossible. It's not possible as in the second conditional. The third it's impossible. Let's see some examples. So last year I didn't work hard so I failed. So شنو إلا بغينا نديرو الconditional غنقولو if I had worked. The past غتولي لنا I had worked hard. If I worked hard I would have passed the exam or I have passed. Okay, here is it. If I had worked hard I would have passed. يعني الفورم ديال type 3 conditional type 3 كيكون عندنا had plus the past participle of the verb of the main verb or the result عندنا would have plus past participle of the verb. Okay. Here we have James was driving very fast last night so he had an accident. So في الconditional نقولوا so this is the situation that James was driving very fast last night so he had an accident. If James had been driving slowly كون كان يكرسطق بشوية he wouldn't have had an accident. ما كانش غيوقع ليه an accident. okay. So if James had been driving علاش قلنا had been driving here حيت هنا عندنا was driving had been driving slowly. He wouldn't have would have had past participle of the verb. Had the past participle. okay. Had or have had an accident. Okay, to summarize إلا كان عندنا the conditional type 0 كيكون عندنا ال if clause في simple present ال main clause simple present also. إلا كان عندنا the first conditional كيكون عندنا ال if clause في simple present وفي main في المين clause كيكون عندنا will plus the infinitive. The second conditional كيكون عندنا if clause فيه the simple past وفي المين clause كيكون عندنا would plus the infinitive. And the third conditional كيكون عندنا في if clause past perfect وفي المين clause كيكون عندنا would have plus past participle of the verb. That's all for today. I hope that you have understood everything that we've discovered today. By the way, you may wish to know that Flexyclass offers also a wide range of videos on other subjects like maths, physics, and science. We also can help you to find the right university for your higher education needs in many countries after getting your baccalaureate. So we are glad to encourage you to share our videos with your classmates and give us your feedback. Please. Goodbye.